You were told that if you work hard, stay consistent, and play by the rules, everything will eventually work out. Get a good education, find a stable job, show up every day, save a little money, and one day, you'll be financially free. That story sounds comforting. It sounds fair. But for most people, it never becomes real. Look around. Millions of people work their entire lives and still struggle. They wake up early, come home tired, do everything right, and yet money always feels tight. Not because they're lazy, not because they're stupid, but because the system they're working inside was never designed to make them rich. Hard work is not the problem. The rules of the game are, when you work a job, you sell your time. Every hour you trade is gone forever. There is a limit to how much time you can sell in a day, and that puts a hard cap on how much you can earn. No matter how skilled you become, no matter how loyal you are, your income has a ceiling. And before you even touch that money, it gets cut. Taxes come first, not last. First. You don't earn money and then choose what to do with it. The system decides for you. Only what's left reaches your bank account. Then life steps in. Rent, food, fuel, bills, small pleasures that make the grind bearable. Every year, you repeat the same cycle. Earn, get taxed, spend, start over. That reset is the part nobody talks about. You might get a raise, but your expenses rise with it. Your taxes rise with it. Your lifestyle quietly adjusts. And suddenly, you're working harder just to feel the same. You're running faster, but the finish line isn't getting closer. People are told to save their way out of this. Save more. Cut costs. Be disciplined. Saving is smart, but saving alone will not make you rich. Money sitting still is being eaten slowly. Inflation doesn't announce itself. It just makes everything cost a little more each year. Your savings don't feel smaller, but their power shrinks. What used to buy you a full cart now buys half. What used to feel safe now feels fragile. So people work more. They take overtime. They take second jobs. They sacrifice time, health, relationships. But the system doesn't reward effort equally. It rewards position. And this is where most people miss the real issue. There are two different games being played at the same time. Most people are in the worker game. A small group plays the owner game. Workers make money by working. Owners make money by owning. Workers are taxed immediately. Owners are taxed later, differently, or sometimes not at all. Workers use money to buy things that cost money. Owners use money to buy things that make money. This difference sounds small. It isn't. It changes everything. A worker's year resets because their income depends on their presence. When they stop working, the money stops. An owner builds things that continue without them. Systems, assets, cash flow. That's why someone can work for decades and still feel stuck, while someone else moves ahead with less visible effort. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's structure. Most people are taught to focus on income. How much do I make? How can I make more? Wealthy people focus on ownership. What do I own? What produces value even when I'm not there? This is the unless you learn this moment. Wealth doesn't come from earning more money. It comes from changing how money works for you. Income feeds your life. Assets build your future. Assets are things that pay you. They create cash flow. They grow over time. They can be leveraged to create more assets. When you own assets, money behaves differently. You're no longer restarting every year. You're stacking progress. That's why two people can earn the same salary and end up in completely different places. One spends and saves, the other builds and owns. One stays on the treadmill, the other steps off. The system doesn't explain this clearly because it doesn't need to. It works exactly as designed. Schools teach you how to be employable. Jobs teach you how to be reliable. Society teaches you how to consume. Very few places teach you how to own. So people think wealth is about working harder, being smarter, or finding some secret hustle. But the truth is simpler and more uncomfortable. If you stay in the worker-only path, you will always depend on the next paycheck. No matter how much you earn, you can survive well, you can live comfortably, but true freedom stays out of reach. Wealth begins the moment you stop asking, "How much do I make?" and start asking, "What am I building?" This doesn't mean quitting your job. It doesn't mean taking reckless risks. It means understanding that your job is a tool, not the destination. Your job can fund ownership, but it cannot replace it. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. You start noticing how money flows, who pays first, who waits, who owns, who rents, and you realize something important. Most people aren't failing. They're just playing the wrong role. The system rewards ownership, leverage, and patience, not effort alone. If you work your whole life inside the worker-only path, the outcome is predictable. You'll always need to keep going, because stopping is too expensive. But if you learn how the system actually works, even slowly, even imperfectly, the direction changes. You stop chasing income, you start building foundations, and that's the difference between surviving the system and escaping it.